if you're a job seeker, maybe you're just thinking about a change, right? Guess what? You're not alone. There's like a gajillion people out there who are thinking, hey, maybe this is the year I'm going to do something different. And in the Central region, workforce services are built to support you wherever you are in the journey, right? We're here to walk through this with you. And that might mean, maybe you're ready to explore career options that you haven't considered before, or maybe you're ready to understand how your skills translate to today's job market, especially now with AI and everything changing. Maybe it's time to step back and look at those skills. Maybe you're thinking about looking into education or training opportunities. Maybe you're getting ready for a job search because you're like, hey, the time is right to do it now. Here's what I want to say to all that. That can seem a little bit overwhelming. You don't have to have everything figured out in January. Welcome to the Workforce Link podcast, where we're offering forward-thinking conversations for the workforce, linking employers and job seekers to a brighter tomorrow. I'm your host, Sundi Jo with the Central Workforce Development Region. Glad to be back for another episode. This is going to be a short episode, trying something new, trying to see if we like the episode shorter or a little bit longer. So once you are finished with this episode, let me know. I'd love to hear. We're doing this podcast for you, not just for me. And so we want to do things that make it work for you. So with that said, the start of a new year gives a lot of us a chance to pause and reset. I love a fresh new year. I love to sit down and set goals. I'm a goal setter, really enjoy that. But I love also the opportunity just to reflect and figure out what I want to do differently this year and just all the things. I love goal setting, gets me all excited. But it's a really great chance, great opportunity and chance for us to pause and reset. And so, January often brings reflection. And in that reflection, there's always questions, right? And so maybe if you're thinking about your career, maybe you're asking yourself, is this the year that I'm going to try something new? Do I need new skills? Am I ready for a change? And maybe if you're an employer, maybe you're asking questions, maybe they sound a little bit different, but maybe they're like, hey, what does our workforce need this year? How do we find and keep the right people? That's always a question, right? How do we plan for what's ahead? So no matter where you're coming from, the new year matters because it sets the tone for what's next, right? And here in the Central region, we see January as more than a fresh calendar. We see it as a season of opportunity. We see it as a season of intention. So let's dive into starting with goals. So again, this time of year, a lot of people thinking about goals, right? And setting goals is important. Again, I love setting goals, but achieving them usually takes more than just motivation. I'm going to say that again. Achieving our goals usually takes more than motivation. And I'm going to pause here and say this too. There's a big difference between New Year's resolutions and setting goals, okay? Big difference. I'm getting ahead of myself. We actually talk about this. I talk about did a whole episode on goal setting, episode 44, how to achieve your goals. And we talk about the difference between New Year's resolutions in there. We talk about the difference between goals. So if that's something that you're focused on right now, go back and listen to that episode 44, how to achieve your goals. And I am going to share the link to that in the show notes. So go listen when it works for you and let me know what you think. So again, big difference between New Year's resolutions and setting goals. I won't get into all that today since we're trying to keep this episode a little bit shorter, but I promise you won't regret going back and listening to that episode. All right. So if you're a job seeker, maybe you're just thinking about a change, right? Guess what? You're not alone. There's like a gajillion people out there who are thinking, hey, maybe this is the year I'm going to do something different. And in the Central region, workforce services are built to support you wherever you are in the journey, right? We're here to walk through this with you. And that might mean, maybe you're ready to explore career options that you haven't considered before, or maybe you're ready to understand how your skills translate to today's job market, especially now with AI and everything changing. Maybe it's time to step back and look at those skills. Maybe you're thinking about looking into education or training opportunities. Maybe you're getting ready for a job search because you're like, hey, the time is right to do it now. Here's what I want to say to all that. That can seem a little bit overwhelming. You don't have to have everything figured out in January, okay? If you do that, you're going to set yourself up for failure. That goes back to the whole New Year's resolution thing. Don't get me started. You don't have to have everything figured out in January, okay? Sometimes the most important step is clarity. Understanding what your options are, understanding what makes sense for you. So maybe just kind of step back and reflect on that. Like, what do I want to do? Am I interested in exploring career opportunities? Am I interested in growing my skills? Am I interested in getting more training? Am I interested in just doing a job search? Just think about all those things for now, not necessarily like putting everything into action. Okay. Just think about maybe what it is that you want to do in the coming year. Again, sometimes the most important step is clarity, right? Across the Central Workforce Development Region, a big part of the work that we do focuses on career planning and guidance. And that kind of support can help you connect your interests and experience to real career pathways in the Central Region. It's about understanding your options, not just job openings. For some people, that leads to training or credentials. For others, it leads to work-based learning, a career shift, or a clearer long-term plan. The goal isn't to rush decisions. It's to help you make informed ones. So with that said, if you need further assistance with your career planning and guidance, we would love to help. I'm going to share the link in the show notes to our Central Region Job Centers, or you can learn more at cwdregion.com. Okay, so if you're an employer, January often comes with its own kind of pressure, right? Maybe you're reviewing what didn't work last year or planning for growth in the months ahead. And maybe you're asking yourself these questions. Do we have the workforce that we need? That's usually a no, right? Are certain roles hard to fill, or are they hard to keep filled? This is going to allow you to sit down and maybe figure out the why behind some of these things. Maybe you're asking, would some kind of training or some kind of partnerships help strengthen our team? Workforce efforts in the Central Region are focused on helping employers plan, helping them adapt, helping you connect with talent, with training partners, with community resources. And here's the thing. A strong workforce doesn't happen by accident, right? A strong workforce is built with intention. It's built with collaboration. Okay, and here's what we know. A stronger workforce doesn't happen overnight, right? It happens when people set goals, when employers look ahead and plan ahead, when communities work together, right? And so as we move into the new year, the Central Region remains committed to supporting you, whether you're building a career, whether you're growing a business, whether you're helping others do the same. And remember that progress looks different for everyone, and you don't have to navigate it alone. All right. So give yourself some freedom, give yourself some grace, give yourself some permission, and remember that you don't have to navigate it alone. All right. Well, I hope this short episode was helpful for you. If it was, please share it with somebody who might need it, a job seeker, an employer, a community partner, and be sure to subscribe to the Workforce Link podcast so you don't miss future episodes. Have a great week, my friend, and we will meet again in the next episode. Until then, remember this: there's always a brighter tomorrow if you're willing to find it. The Central Region Workforce Development Board Incorporated and COPIC are equal opportunity employers and programs. Auxiliary aids and services are available upon request to individuals with disabilities. Missouri Relay Services at 711.